Lawmakers return to Washington today with just days to find a funding solution on the Department of Homeland Security or see the agency shut down.
Democrats are demanding reforms to federal immigration enforcement. Reed Binion has more.
The ball is in the court right now of the Republicans.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries ahead of a crucial deadline for funding the Department of Homeland Security, saying Democrats are standing firm by their demands.
Dramatically reform the way in which ICE and other immigration enforcement agencies are conducting themselves.
Jeffries saying if that doesn't happen, a DHS shutdown would be the fault of Republicans.
They're making the explicit decision to shut down the Coast Guard, shut down FEMA, and shut down TSA.
Lawmakers have just days to find a DHS funding solution or see the agency shut down. The deadline is Friday. Democrats' list of requirements for a bill to fund DHS and reform ICE include requiring immigration enforcement agents to wear body cameras and remove face masks, among other conditions. Certain Republican lawmakers have indicated openness to some of those demands.
When I was mayor of Miami-Dade County, we put body cameras on all Miami-Dade County police. Putting what agency you're from, I have no problem with that.
But other demands are seeing more pushback from Republicans.
A lot of times those face masks are there to protect the ICE agent themselves.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Well, investigators are covering new ground in the search for Nancy Guthrie. The mother of Today Show co-host Savannah Guthrie disappeared over a week ago. Investigators visited 2 gas stations in Tucson, Arizona, asking to view surveillance footage. According to CBS News sources, Pima County Sheriff's deputies returned to the home of the 84-year-old Nancy Guthrie this past weekend, where she was last seen 9 days ago. They also revisited the home of her daughter, Annie Guthrie. Savannah Guthrie posted another video on Instagram over the weekend, pleading with her mother's abductors for her release, linked by her siblings.
This is the only way we will have peace. This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Investigators are trying to authenticate ransom notes sent to media outlets. One of them set 2 deadlines. The first has already passed, and the second is today.
Well, with the midterms approaching, President Trump casting doubt on U.S. elections as an FBI seizure of ballots in Georgia draws new political scrutiny. That raid about 12 days ago has sparked backlash from Democrats who accused the administration of escalating federal involvement in election oversight, while the president continues to push changes to how elections are run.
If a state can't run an election, I think the people behind me should do something about it.
Well, the president's statement comes as Georgia officials are now asking a federal judge to order the FBI to return ballots and records taken during the raid, and as questions mount over who authorized the operation.
You're seeing disinformation being spread, in this case by the President of the United States, targeted at his own supporters, at others who might not like the outcome of elections, and unfortunately some are believing it.
Well, the debate now shifts to Congress, where President Trump is pushing the SAVE Act to tighten voter requirements. The bill has passed the House, but faces a difficult path in the Senate, while states retain primary control over elections. Days after Amber Waterman accepted a plea deal for the deaths of Ashley Bush and her unborn baby, prosecutors releasing a portion of an interview conducted as part of that agreement.
The deal that took the death penalty off the table. In the interview obtained by 5 News late Friday, Waterman answers questions that loomed more than 3 years after the crime. She describes creating a plan to obtain a child after falsely claiming to her husband and family that she was pregnant. Waterman is now serving 4 life sentences, 2 in Arkansas and 2 from a federal conviction. During the interview, she denies planning the killing as prosecutors press her to explain her actions.
Leading up to that point where you're driving around, up until the point that you pulled the trigger, was it a wave of emotion like rage or anger that came that you were experiencing?
Just sadness.
5 News reporter Emily Moss reviewed the full 2-hour interview. She brings us excerpts from the video that help explain how prosecutors resolved the case and answered long-standing questions for Ashley Bush's family and the community. You can see the full story on our website, 5newsonline.com.
In other news, First Presbyterian Church of Fort Smith has paid more than $17 million in medical debt for Sebastian and Crawford County residents. partnering with Undo Medical Debt, a national nonprofit that acquires medical debt belonging to those least able to pay. The church raised over $63,000. That money, they say, will help over 11,000 people. On average, $1 donated to Undo erases $100 in medical debt.
Medical debt is one of those things that no one asked for. And what might look like a small debt to one person, say it's $1,000, it's a huge impediment to someone else. It can keep people from seeking further medical care when they need it. It can really, it's the #1 reason given for Americans to declare bankruptcy.
Well, those benefiting from the program will be receiving letters from Undo Medical Debt. To qualify, you got to live there in Sebastian or Crawford and have an income of at or below 400% of the federal poverty level, or have medical debt that is 5% of their income or more.